Thanks for joining me today at InvestorIdeas.com, Cleantech and Climate Change podcast, looking at today's problems and solutions for the future. I'm your host, Dawn Van Zandt, founder of InvestorIdeas.com, and hoping to share our way of making a difference in climate change. Good morning. Today I'm talking to Harold Martin, following news from dynaCERT Inc., trading on the TSX, DYA, on the OTCQX, DYFSF, and on the Frankfurt, DMJ, on a strategic OEM collaboration with Martin Technologies LLC Corporation. The companies have agreed to collaborate on a scientific expansions required for introducing dynaCERT's patented proprietary carbon emission reductions technology, hydrogen technology, to original manufacturers, OEMs, in North America and globally. Mr. Harold Martin, Chairman and CEO of Martin Technologies, has also agreed to join the company's advisory board. Martin Technologies, based near Detroit, Michigan, operates a full-service engineering and manufacturing company providing global mobility solutions to the automotive, marine, aerospace, and defense, marine, and motorsports industries. dynaCERT's numerous successful experts in R&D are fully committed to maintaining a Canadian leadership role in the new hydrogen economy while collaborating significantly in partnerships with other top-ranked industry leaders such as Martin Technologies to further supplement and broaden the company's know-how of the company's clean technology line of products currently available in the global market. Jim Payne, CEO of dynaCERT, talked to Investor Ideas about the recent news of the collaboration and Harold Martin joining the company's advisory board.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to talk, about this collaboration with Harold Martin and his firm, Martin Technologies. Harold and his firm, they bring years of experience within the internal combustion engines. They are also so involved and recognized worldwide within the OEM market or within the original engine manufacturers. Harold himself has personally joined our advisory board, where we share a vision of the technology that dynaCERT has today and how we believe this is a real asset, and it is also a bridge to the advancement in the future of the hydrogen economy. Harold has joined our advisory board. I want to welcome Harold and his involvement, and we are extremely happy to be working with him. The other thing that Harold and his firm is going to do, once and for all, we are going to literally prove the science behind the technology of what we've got today. And that is something that I really believe is going to be, very impactful to the future.
Thank you for joining us today, Harold. For our listeners that aren't familiar with Martin Technologies and your own personal background, it's pretty extensive in this sector. Can you talk about that prior to your collaboration with dynaCERT?
Sure. I have lived a dream life, if you will, having started my career as an engineer, working in the automotive industry, and enjoying a career path there with General Motors for 15 years, and then came to a crossroad where I had the entrepreneurial itch, and from there created Martin Industries, and it was born out of racing, where I was engaged in professional racing and had a lot of fun there, where we got a chance to design and implement our own engine program, and it was led by my background in electronic fuel injection, and we were able to be leaders in the class of Pro Modified in the NHRA Racing Association. And we excelled there. We did really well. We were able to win. We were able to lead with innovations and enjoyed a nice career there. And while all of that was happening, there was a small giant that was developing of a company called Martin Technologies. And it started from some nimble 4 employees, and then before you knew it, had grown to over 1,000. And today in that company, we are a supplier to just about every automotive company in the world. Today, we think of those companies as mobility companies, and we are quite proud of the decades of partnerships we've had with those companies. In those companies, or with those companies, we provide anywhere from engineering services, where we are a key contributor or supplier to their advanced designs, whether it's helping them at the design, research, or in testing segment. We have a very important role that we have played. Over the last 2 decades, we have been involved in over 100 million miles of testing experience, which has brought a lot of lessons learned. And we also are making parts for them in some of our segments. So it's, like I said, having had the opportunity now to be an innovator in motorsports as well as an innovator for the mobility industry has really been a dream come true.
Well, I think it's a dream come true for dynaCERT to have this new relationship with you. So you're coming on board both as a new advisory board member and then partnering with them with Martin Technologies. And it's a great example of how hydrogen economy and automotive leaders are joining together to create this new future that we're all looking forward to. So in that, can you talk about how this happened and what attracted you to dynaCERT and why you thought this was a great fit?
Yeah. I had an individual contact me and was talking to me about hydrogen, and he had made reference about dynaCERT, and I quickly was a quick study and did some research on them, and I was impressed with what they've accomplished and all of the things that they were doing. So when I got a chance to meet them, it was a quick embrace and as you call it, love at first sight. It truly was a wonderful engagement because the two of us, without ever meeting, had been thinking alike in many of the things that they're doing as well as I'm seeking to do. So that really made me really excited about dynaCERT and the accomplishments that they've been able to achieve to date.
And part of your background was also at GM, and we're seeing new alliances form in this hydrogen economy, and they recently announced a partnership with Navistar and moving forward with a goal to create hydrogen trucks into commercial production by 2024. So looking at that and the fact that you've been in this industry for a long time and you're seeing these new alliances form, very similar to what you just did with dynaCERT, how do you see that all aligning, moving forward to create this new hydrogen economy for the automotive sector?
Well, it tells me that great minds are thinking alike. And, I see the importance of that venture as well as the importance of the industry capitalizing on the technology and the capabilities that are available to them in this hydrogen space. It's difficult as a leader of many of those companies, to keep their head straight that opportunity is out there and yet important to them because there's such a huge movement to zero emissions, and there's a huge movement to, green gas and all of those kinds of initiatives and electrification. So with the investment infrastructure that's out there these days to get to electrification and to get to those levels of profitability, often there's wonderful programs oversighted like hydrogen.
So one of the things too that we're seeing is, hydrogen's been around for over 20 years. Ballard's been doing this for a long time, but obviously whether it's anything in Cleantech, we're seeing a lot of advances in technologies becoming more cost effective, more efficient. So it seems to be the right time for all of this. Like with Biden coming in, he's got very strong initiatives moving forward for changes in emission standards. You've got a consumer and an investor audience of millennials that are very much embracing this. And there's a lot of competition as far as, coming to market. You've got the EV automotive sector, you've got hydrogen. How would you compare the rollout of some of these things? Like if you were looking at future automotive in hydrogen and the future of the EV sector, they've got a bit of a jump start, obviously. But do you see it focused more, hydrogen would be more on the trucking industry versus just, the automobile sector?
That's a very good question. And I really think that as you look at the propulsion systems options, and you have out there, the ICE and the internal combustion engine is often overlooked and understated in terms of its greatness and all of the things that it still provides, and I like that to liken that to the hydrogen, whereby it's been around for some years, but I believe it's potentially not fully optimized. And I believe that there's some technologies and some methodologies beyond that could take it to a level beyond its current level of greatness. With that being said, I get it that major automotive companies have shifted their investments away from ICE to electrification. But I really think that in due time, there's going to be some realization of hydrogen is still a very strategic play in that space. Now, with that being said, I think that the opportunities could be beyond just the trucking industry. I believe that there's some middle road, if you will, opportunities out there, whether it's in the light duty trucks and or the SUVs and other platforms. I believe there are some efficiencies out of hydrogen that could be further capitalized on. I also believe that hydrogen could find itself being used in other standby power scenarios as well.
And with your advisory board member role, do you have any specific personal goals that you want to, inject into the company? Is there something that you have a vision for your new relationship with dynaCERT?
That's a very good question. And, I task myself with joining them to make a difference, as I have tasked myself in every other endeavor that I've ever taken on. So, I come with sleeves rolled up. I come with hunger to, challenge the engineering team, challenge the overall company. So let's raise the bar. Let's look at the science of it and feel good about what we've accomplished. But now let's look beyond and understand what could it look like in very soon years to come. Let's try taking it to another level. Let's start looking at applications and industries beyond the current. So I plan to seek to take it to another strategic level beyond what it's currently doing.
Well, I think based on your background, that's a realistic goal. And that's what I'd like to close with is I look at people like you with a resume, and I've had the pleasure of interviewing some heavyweight boxers, and there's a certain class of people that just are super achievers, and they strive for excellence beyond what most people can even understand. And I always like knowing what drives you, what inspired you, like what made you who you are, because you are a different class of most people.
Well, thank you. And I can tell you that what drives me is I'm never content. I always look and see improvement, continuous improvement. And I look at the industry. I think about the automotive industry and how in year 1900, you take a snapshot of pictures and you see nothing but horses and maybe one car. And then you look at, the industry over the last 100 years, how it's evolved. But then if you take a snapshot over the next 10 years as a forecast, this industry is going to change more in the next 1 to 10 years than it has over the last 100. That's really profound when you really stop and think about all of the progress made to date. So that's why it's exciting to be connected with great companies like dynaCERT, because we're going to get on that train. We're going to be part of innovations and taking something great and making it better.
That's it for today. Do something great for this beautiful planet each and every day. To hear more Cleantech podcasts, visit the Cleantech and Climate Change page on Investor Ideas. You can find it on our top template. Also, Investor Ideas has a lineup of other podcasts and themes, including the AII, the Crypto Corner, our cannabis podcast called Cannabis News and Stocks on the Move, rated one of the top investor podcasts in the sector, Play by Play, a podcast looking at sports and esports news, and Exploring Mining. To listen to any of our podcasts, visit our podcast page on Investor Ideas at investorideas.com/audio. And a reminder, you can hear our podcasts on Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Google Play Music, and most audio platforms available to you. If you like any of our podcasts, we would appreciate you recommending them or reviewing them on your audio platform. And to help you follow and track clean tech and renewable energy stocks, Investor Ideas has created a directory of publicly traded stocks in the sector. You can find that by going to our homepage, looking on the sidebar and looking at renewable energy and environmental themes, and you'll find our stock directories there. Investor Ideas does remind all of investors to read our disclaimers and disclosures on our site. You can find them at investorideas.com/about-disclaimer.asp. It is important to read these. And this podcast is not an endorsement to buy products or services or securities. Investors are reminded that all investment involves risk and a possible loss of investment. Thank you again and have a great day. For disclosure purposes, dynaCERT is a paid monthly featured Cleantech stock on investorideas.com. You can learn more about that at our disclaimer disclosure pages found easily on our bottom template.